Is it? I think that this is the reason. If you look at, that there is this complaint that is made that the Dharma gurus and all of them keep saying, don't give up your tradition, practice, do this. The reason is actually this, and it would they may not be saying it, but the reason for them insisting on practice, on keeping up the tradition, it's very difficult. For example, people say, there is this SBNR, spiritual but not religious. You don't want to you don't want to do anything that that the tradition demands. For example, the approach to any path is actually, there are clear rules that define how you need to approach it. There are clear steps that you need to take, but people don't want to take it. And the reasons why the Dharma gurus say, these practices have to be, these things have to be practiced, and certain steps have to be followed, is also because history tells us that if we do not continue to hold on to tradition, if we continue to keep chipping away tradition slowly, one at a time, it's not about saying that we must not become modern. It's not about rejection of technology. It's not about any of those things. It's simply, we are accepting all of those things. I mean, we are not saying that we are not going to be doing performances online, or we're not going to be, we are even speaking today online on this. I mean, we're doing it. All we're saying is that in order for something to survive, and the reason why Sanatana Dharma has survived, the reason why we continue to at least whatever we have, is because there are a few people who have stuck on and held on to the traditions and the principles. And I'm happy that there are multiple sampradayas, there are multiple, it's not one unified body. Because if it was one unified body, then, if we would have actually had a greater loss that would have happened, is what I'm thinking. So
no, you're absolutely right. So I have the same question. So if in the dance field, who are these gurus? What are they doing? How much are they holding on to? How much are they convincing their students? How many teachers are having dialogues with their students, saying, this is the context, this is the history, these are the multiple narratives, this is how the tradition is flowing. So this becomes our responsibility to carry that. So, watch what you're doing. One is to tell the student you can never do that, but another is to open the different windows to the student and say, this is there, this is there, this is there, and we have this is our history, and this is the context. So therefore make think about it. Who is doing all that, Ramesh? I don't think that is happening, because if it did, so much of so much of, what do you say, morphed versions would definitely not be there. It's very evident somewhere I think at the base level, in the name of freedom, in the name of enabling students to think early, individual thinking, I agree to all this, but you still have to have a rein and say, there are certain things that has to be done, there are certain things that must be done, and there are certain things that cannot be done. I don't think that is happening. It's been my observation, because I think if it did, we wouldn't have so many morphed versions. And also, how many students listen? And if one teacher is not in line with their concept of being a star dancer, they'll just go to somebody else, or they have the basic stuff, they'll create on their own, which is what is happening. Everybody is posting productions, everybody has a version of Mahabharata, Kunti, Draupadi, with the contemporary context, breaking patriarchy. I mean, who is to stop? Tell me. And I think, like everything else we have been observing, it has also definitely percolated in the art space. There is no doubt about that at all.
This is, I mean, if there is a contemporary example that we need to take, we have to take the example of yoga. For example, the moment, we were celebrating how yoga has gone international and all of that. But within the space of the moment, and we said yoga has got nothing to do with the Hindu Dharma. It's India's gift to the world, and all of those things were sold. Now we have beer yoga. Yeah. We have all sorts of yoga. I think hot yoga, cold yoga, all sorts of yoga, because yoga has been now completely. I mean, it's clear that we have lost yoga. We have lost.
Of course, we have.
Yoga. I'm reminded of my sister's father-in-law is a very famous yoga teacher. He is Mr. Surya Narayanan. He used to say, whenever these people changed certain yoga poses, and he used to say, "In yoga, like the gymnastics." He used to
gymnastics,
say. Yeah. So clearly, I mean, so now I'm constantly reminded of that when I see what's happening to yoga. And what you said, you're saying that you actually predicted the demise of even Bharatanatyam in a sense. You said you're not yeah, or rather you're saying are you saying you're flogging a dead donkey now?
I am not, because I'm very convinced. I have a very, I'm not trying to be I don't know what's the word. I'm not trying to pinpoint at anybody, but I have a very clear conscience, and I know what I have learned, and I know what I'm imparting to my students. I sleep very well in that aspect. I will not compromise. I will not break my tradition. I will not go certain. I will not go beyond certain boundaries. I am very convinced with the art that is bestowed in me. I understand the multiple narratives. I can. I see the value in it. When someone is giving me a different perspective, I can absolutely accept it. But I have unflinching faith in what my art form can do for me. So for me, my art, what it stands for, is very much alive. And there is no going back for me. I don't have a shred of doubt. But I do feel bad that I do wonder why many people are not able to see it. I feel bad, but I think that's the way it is. So what can I do? I can tell my students, I can share with them my experiences. I can tell them, these are the windows, please look. And I can tell you that when a teacher makes that attempt to open those doors and windows, the student will see. How many teachers, are convinced about this and are taking the...
Just give me a minute. I think
that, but I think that's the way it is. So what can I do?
There's a feedback that's coming that came from the YouTube.
Yeah.
So it's talking back to you. So
yeah. So I think it becomes more like a personal responsibility, a personal code of integrity that one has to follow. So I think that's all one can do. Cause ripple effects, maybe.